A very good morning to everyone. On behalf of Government Home Science College, I welcome you all to a national webinar on entrepreneurial development through value-added millets, Miracle Millet Products. Millets, the wonder foods of yesteryears, are now the foods of the future. Through this webinar, we aim to disseminate awareness on millets as superfoods. And who better to have amongst us today than Dr. Pratibha Tewari, Principal Scientist and Head, Transfer of Technology, ICAR-CAZRI, Jodhpur. Dr. Pratibha has a vast experience in this field. Currently, she is Principal Scientist and Head of Division and is leading a DSP-sponsored project on doubling farm women's income, entrepreneurship development through post-harvesting processing and technology integration in arid zones as Principal Investigator. Dr. Pratibha boasts of a lot of experience in the field, especially dealing with millets. She has contributed to initiations of ICAR on operational research programs, lab-to-land programs, institute village linkage programs, and farmer first over the past 3 decades. She has successfully completed and conducted competitive grants projects on assessment of malnutrition and women and children in northwestern hot arid zones through their dietary recall and assessment. She has conducted a number of research projects on nutritional evaluation of indigenous food products. She has successfully conducted acute and chronic studies on pearl millet flour as well. She has won a merit award from DG-ICAR. In short, ma'am can surely be called an authority on millets, and it is a great pleasure to have her amongst us here today. We will also be having presenters who will be giving us a demonstration. Dr. Savita Singhal, who is the next Chief Technical Officer, Krishi Vigyan Kendra, CAZRI Jodhpur. And we have amongst us a presenter for helping us in the demonstration of recipes of millets. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Poonam Kalash from Krishi Vigyan Kendra, CAZRI Jodhpur. With this, I now invite Dr. Pratibha to please address the participants of the webinar.
Thank you very much, Dr. Namrata. At the outset, I thank the faculty of Home Science, Chandigarh College, especially Professor Sudha Katyal, your Dean, and Dr. Uttara Singh, Dr. Bhavneet Kaur, and Dr. Vasudha Bansal, who had been with. अरे 2 मिनट बाद फोन करना 2 मिनट बाद फोन करना भंडारी जी I'm thankful to Professor Katyal for giving me an opportunity to speak before your students. Madam, I'm not able to see the studio where the students are sitting. So it's only me on the screen. Would you be able to showcase your students as well?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The students will not be showcased. We can all see and hear you very, very clearly. You will only be visible on the screen. So you can please start and share your PPT. We can all hear you, ma'am.
Okay. Because the time is little less, we will directly start with the PPTs, and question and answer session we will not have. May I be permitted to share?
Definitely, ma'am. We're all waiting eagerly.
Are you able to see my slides? Are you able to see my slides?
Ma'am, not yet. Not yet. Can you share your screen again? Share your PPT. Ma'am, you have to share your entire screen and then select your PPT.
But it is
Share
not
entire screen.
video file share screen. Share screen.
Share screen. And then select your PPT, ma'am. It will be uploaded.
Is it coming, madam?
Yes, ma'am, it's coming.
Full screen?
Full screen kar dijiye, ma'am. हाँ जी.
Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am, it is. It is. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Friends, welcome to this lecture. I will be speaking on entrepreneurial development through value-added Miracle Millet Products. I am Pratibha Tewari, serving in ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research. Our institute is Central Arid Zone Research Institute. We established our institute in 1959, and we are working on arid zone problems. And I would like you to appreciate that we receive annual rainfall only 500 mm. So we cultivate the crops which are low water requiring, especially the millets. In my lecture, I will deal with three aspects basically. One is millets, what are the concepts and nutritional significance, some national challenges to food processing, the pearl millet, value added products, and ultimately the entrepreneurship development. We will also have hands on learning of value added products, chocolate. We would be able to tell you only, but matri and laddu, we will give demonstration. Okay. We commonly call cereal and millet, but rarely feel the difference what is cereals and what is millets. Predominantly, cereals are grown world over, and the bolder ones are called cereals like wheat, rice, maize. These are called cereals. And whereas millets are traditional cereal crops that are also known as forage grasses, and they are grown with lesser water. Both cereals and millets are from Gramineaceae family. Cereals requires more water to grow, whereas millets require lesser water to grow. Sometimes they can be grown in the rain-fed conditions only. Wheat, rice, barley are classified as cereals. Sorghum, pearl millet, foxtail millet, proso millet, little millet, barnyard millet, brown top millets are classified as millet. Cereals are rich in carbohydrate, protein, and vitamins, whereas millets are very rich in carbohydrates, proteins, millets, as well as in minerals. They are very good sources of minerals. The physiological difference between cereals and millets is that in cereals, the endosperm, germ, and bran are clearly differentiated, whereas in millets, because they are ancient grains, the demarcations are slightly less prominent. Millets, the miracle foods, when we say, we come under confusion with several terms. Some are coarser cereals, some are millets, and some are small millets. Friends, for your information, what do we mean by coarse cereals? It includes all millets plus maize and barley. Got my point? All millets, maize, and barley. Whereas millets are sorghum, pearl millet, finger millet, and small millet. In small millets, again, there are four more millets, which is kodo millets, foxtail millet, barnyard millet, and little proso millet and little millet. These are inclusively called cereal or coarse cereals, millets, and small millets. All 8 known millets are grown in different parts of Indian subcontinent, covering Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Karnataka, UP, Gujarat, Haryana, and Rajasthan is the leading state in production of millets because it is mainly rain-fed and it is arid and semi-arid area. India is largest producer of millet in the world and second largest exporter of millets. People in arid zones grow and consume millets as staples. Millets are nutritious staple foods. They are also called as Nutri cereals because they are high in protein, contain 60 to 70% carbohydrate and up to 5% mineral. Sorghum, pearl millet, and finger millet are included in the public distribution system. That means they are procured on MSP. That is one of the incentive given to the farmers. If they grow, it is being buyback by the government and distributed in the public distribution system. India celebrated 2018 as the National Year of Millets, and the United Nations General Assembly declared 2023 as the International Year of Millets. By declaring International Year for Millets, we at India and 70 other countries, it was our proposal, India's proposal to United Nations. 70 countries supported our proposal. So, including India, these 70 countries look forward for higher area being cultivated by minor millets, small millets, coarser millets, and in all to improve the nutritional security of the people residing in these areas. The nutrient composition of millets are these. I will share for each and every millet later on. Some of the health benefits of millets are there, contain several bioactive phytochemicals, including polyphenols. In 65 and earlier periods nearing to our independence time, we were cultivating minor millets in a large area. Over 3 decades, almost 4 decades, the area of millets has reduced by 60%. However, the productivity has remained same, which is being indicated that some good varieties of sorghum, pearl millet, and finger millets have come up, and they have given higher productivity, which has led to food security, though the area has reduced. The other health benefits of millets are that all millets contain antioxidants, but dark color millets contain a little more antioxidants. Antioxidants, friends, you know, are the generally polyphenols, which helps in increasing the body's immunity to fight diseases. All millets also have antimicrobial and DNA damage protection properties, and that is why you would have seen that during COVID-19 periods, the importance of Nutri millets has come up in the public domain, and all people are shifting from main cereals to minor millets and Nutri millets because of their immunity qualities. All millets are good source of dietary fibers. All millets are gluten free. That is why they do not have consumption of these millets does not lead to celiac disease, which is associated with wheat. Fermented millets can also act as probiotics, and millets have lower glycemic index, thus they are ideal in curing diabetes mellitus. There are some non-nutrient contents of millets which we need to be, as home scientists, as the students of nutrition, foods and nutrition, we need to be aware, and we need to make the public aware about the Nutri millets, and also to educate ourselves. Some of the nutritional factors are there in millets. They contain phytate, which is the hexaphosphate of inositol, which interferes with iron absorption, but it can be removed by soaking, sprouting, and fermentation. I preferably like sprouting because it adds some B vitamins in the process of sprouting. So it is always it can be tackled. Then it also millets also contain certain oxalates which interfere with calcium, and the difficulty with oxalates is that it can form these stones or crystals, and that is why pre-cooking of cereals, millets is very necessary. And generally, soaking and boiling can remove some of the oxalates, and it may bind it with calcium so that it can be excreted out from the uh, alimentary canal. They also contain tannins which interfere with mineral availability. Some protease inhibitors are also there, but the good thing is that soaking, sprouting, boiling can remove them. Friends, in at the global level, the world area in under different crops I have mentioned. I have shared the PPT with your madam as well. You can have later on. This is the data of 2016, but the in 2019, India was the leading state in production of millets, and this barnyard millet. This is 99% it is grown in India. Sorghum is one of the leading um, millet. It is also called as jowar. It contains 10.4% protein, 1.9% fat, 72% carbohydrates, and 1.6% minerals. It is known to be rich in phenolic compounds, and that is why it acts as antioxidant and thereby creates immunity, a higher immunity in the population consuming these minor millet. It has been also shown to have good reducing action in some form of inflammation due to its antioxidant properties. It is grown in Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and it is grown for food, feed, fodder, and fuel. Bajra, the one I'm going to talk about, is one of the second leading millet. It is grown in Rajasthan, Haryana, MP, and Gujarat. It has 11.6% protein and 5% fat. This is the highest fat millets are having, and 67% carbohydrate, 2.3% minerals. Some of the potential health benefits associated with regularly eating bajra are weight loss, improved diabetes management. And friends, this pearl millet and leucine, the finger millets, the history shows that it has traveled from African countries some 3,500 years back. Along with the people moving from African countries, it has come to Iran, through Iran to Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India. And it has shown its total expression, genetic expression in Indian subcontinents. And that is why sometimes it is called as, sometimes popularly, it is known as Indian millet of African origin. It is it is an ancient grain. It has a Sanskrit name Ikshupatra. That means Vedas and Purans, they have mention of this grain. Now, there is always a conflict in the history of origin of this millet, whether it is African or it is Indian, because Sanskrit literature is it dates back to some 5,000 years, and the history of this leucine and Pearl millet is some 3,500 years old. So, when it is known as Indian millet of African origin, sometimes I feel that it is an Indian millet of Indian origin. The finger millets or ragi, or locally known as madua, it is an important millet in southern part of India. It is very rich in calcium. It is cultivated for grain and fodder, and it is used as porridge, papad, and sometimes it is used as many times it is used as baby food because it is rich in amylose. It is grown in Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and UP. Kodo millet is known as kodo only. It has 2.6% millions, 8.3% protein. It is termed as a wholesome food, prized for its medicinal, therapeutic, and culinary properties. It is known to cure diabetes, and all millets, they have low glycemic index, and that is why they are beneficial in diabetes. It also regulates blood pressure. The proso millet or the china, it has 12.5% protein, 1.9% minerals, 1.1% fat. It is health promoting. It has very high phenolic compounds, and it is readily bioaccessible and biodigestible, and it has high calcium content, which helps in bone strengthening. The most commonly consumed products are ready to eat breakfast, cereals, and bakery products. Another millet is foxtail millet, or it is known as kangni. The name comes from its shape. It is the foxtail. See the figure. Beautiful figure. Foxtail wags like this only. It contains 12.3% protein, 4.3% fat, and 61% carbohydrate, 3.3% minerals. It is known to have stronger bones. It strengthens nervous system, and that is why it is given to patients with Alzheimer's disease. It boosts cardiac health and manages diabetes. It also lowers bad cholesterol, triggers weight loss, promotes digestion, and it builds immunity. Another little millet, kutki or sama, which was earlier also known as pseudo millet, and it is being taken in all fasts in Hindu culture, and it contains 8.7% protein, 5.3% fat, and 75% carbohydrate. It has nutraceutical properties. It lowers the glycemic index. It contains digestive carbohydrate, dietary fibers, and that is why it takes little longer time to digest. It does not shoots up the blood glucose level. The other benefits is that it contains good amount of vitamins else also, and tissue repair also. It detoxifies the body also, and it aids in treating respiratory conditions. It detoxifies. That is why only it is taken in the uh, upvas and fast. The barnyard millet, also known as savai or jangora, it is grown in higher altitudes in Uttarakhand and UP, Himachal and Kashmir areas. It is a good source of highly digestible protein, and it contains 4.7% minerals. None of the cereals contain that high minerals. It is rich in dietary fibers, and India produces 99% of this millet. The second point of my talk is that food processing, because we all are working in the field of home science, we are challenged with food processing sector. But the food processing sector, it has come under focus, and it is the rising sun in the agricultural field, because of the very high, some of the challenges the food processing sector has received due to higher agricultural production of food grains. The higher production has challenged several sectors, including horticultural produce. it has challenged the research and development sector to increase the intensity of research to 3%. Presently, we are having 1.3% research intensity. That means the total income which is received by the trade of food grains and horticultural produce, only 1.5% goes into the research and developmental activities. If it is increased to 3% in India, many of the challenges faced by higher production will be met. The national cold storage capacities also need to increase from 36.22 million ton to 61 million ton owing to higher food production. The warehouse capacity also, the nation needs to increase from 81 million metric ton to 150 metric ton. करीब 15 करोड़ टन अनाज को रखने के लिए हमारा टोटल अनाज होता है 30 करोड़ टन, और 15 करोड़ टन हमको पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम में जाता है, बहुत सारे एनिमल फीड के लिए जाता है, और वो आप लोगों ने देखा होगा फूड कॉरपोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया के बिल्कुल ओपन यार्ड्स में रखे रह जाते हैं, ग्रेन स्पॉइल हो जाता है. वी नीड टू इंक्रीज द कैपेसिटी ऑफ वेयर हाउसेज ऑल्सो to meet the challenge of higher food production. I will not talk about green revolution and all that, because you all know the history very well, from begging bowl to surplus grains, but surplus grains have challenged us differently. We need to increase the export of agricultural products from 12367 million US dollars to just double 25 2074 million, so that we are able to send the grains to some other countries for better use of human and livestock population. We also need to develop the capacity of 1.73 million people to work as production managers. And friends, that is why I am talking to you today, that I look forward in the younger generation, the future production managers. You need to equip yourself with lots of knowledge, with lots of practical hands on handling the products. And not only handling the products in laboratory, you need to handle the products at large scale. See, if you are in charge of 1 million ton of a warehouse, how much capacity you need to increase for yourself. It is not simply home science and dealing with foods and cooking and everything. You have to come up as managers for handling the handling the foods, and you have to take the challenge, as India is going to be in a very short span going to be the largest producer of all types of food products, including milk and fisheries. We also need to have 2.7 million people to work as a skilled workforce in food processing center. And to this, I like that 50% of our population, the women, the girls, they are being trained by their mothers and grandmothers. And these women, they can work as the skilled workers in all the processing laboratories, processing ventures of factories, public, private partnerships, everything. Women are going to be the forerunners in food processing sectors. And when I say food processing sector, it is already the 30 crore tons of food has its stakeholders. Animals also eat. Some of the grains are used in preparing alcoholic beverages. And then the question comes, madam, if you are saying that we need to increase the capacity from 2% to 18% to 20% of food to be produced, from where you will bring? So it is, we need to economize primarily on the post-harvest losses. 30% of our grains and horticultural produce are lost post harvest processing. If we economize on post harvest losses, we would be able to have the product for processing, which will generate higher income. Friends, the third aspect of my talk is currently I am working on doubling farm women's income, entrepreneurship development through post-harvest processing and technology integration in arid zones. It is a project worth 2.5 crores rupees, and Bits Pilani is our co-partner. Some 7 persons from ICAR-CAZRI and 6 persons from Bits Pilani are working. One of the objectives of the project is to have developing women entrepreneurs through local governance structures and synergies with ongoing government program for doubling their income. DST has given us 2 crops, Pearl Millet and Cucumis Mellow. Since we have short time, I will not talk anything about Cucumis Mellow. We will continue with Pearl Millet. In this project, we have initiated technology integration and food processing. The technology integration will lead to some of the aspects of livestock management, solar power generation, water harvesting, better crop production, and food processing, and diversifying into horticultural aspects. When we go into the villages, if we ask women to do food processing, they will certainly ask one question, madam, हमें fruit कहाँ से मिलेगा, हम processing कहाँ से करेंगे? And this question I was facing for last 3 decades. So I made a project in a holistic manner, that if a farmer is having animals, he will have better animals. The better animals will give better production. The better production can go for processing. So we are tackling all the issues, and in this integrated system, output of one of the enterprise is input for other. Like if we have good livestock, we will have good farmyard manure, which can go for cultivation of crops. If we have good crops, we will have good processing. If we have diversification into horticultural products, we will have products for processing. When we do processing, we will require energy. We have solar energy, and if we do processing, all crops and horticultural crops and agronomical crops, they will require water. So we will, since we are working with 500 mm, we harvest water. These are the integrated technologies that we will use, and in food processing also we will do. We have developed this Poshtik Thali uh, for generating it as an enterprise for self-help groups. We will be having 10 self-help groups which will produce all these products um, all these value-added products from pearl millet in entrepreneurial mode. Dr. Savita will tell you. I will not go much because time is there. Then time is short. We have also developed Nutri platter because we are doing integrated technology for food processing as well. So all products we have added into this Nutri platter, and it gives you 10.63 grams of protein, 631.4 kilocalories, which is the requirement of ICDS. One meal is for 10 grams of protein and more than and up to 500 kilocalories. Self-help group can prepare this meal, and it can go as feed, Nutri food for all children through ICDS. We are working on these. These are the products we will be shortly dealing with. which we have developed. Friends, since the topic is for entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial development, who is an entrepreneur? We need to understand it is the entrepreneurship development is the process of starting, establishing, and enlarging an enterprise that produces goods and services naturally. These are the people, enterprises are by the people. So the entrepreneur must have some very good characteristics to be successful. The entrepreneur in general is highly motivated person. If you tell him one thing, he will do 10 things at his own, and that is the characteristic. He is self motivated, highly motivated to develop his enterprise. He takes good initiative. If you tell him that amla can be processed into juice, he will bring amla laddu also. He will make laddu also. He will start trading candy also. He will start making murabba also. He takes initiative. He takes risk of money, time, and technology, because initially when he's doing, he has to put his own time, he has to put his own money, and he has to take risk with the technology, whether he will do the work he will do will be successful or not. He has to rely on us, and that is why the technological backstopping provided by the ICR institutes and especially the scientists is of immense importance. We must develop technology which is suitable to the farming community so that they can believe in us, they can go ahead with using this technology, they can be successful entrepreneurs, because the basic foundation of the technology is the responsibility of the scientist. And I look forward in you, friends, the future scientists who will develop strong technologies. Friends, the science is the one which gives you new knowledge. Several sciences makes one technology. Different innovations are the ones which an entrepreneur does upon your technology, upon your basic science. And it is the innovativeness of the entrepreneur which leads him to the success. If he is not innovative, if he does not add his own total expertise and experience and hard work, he cannot be successful. He should be socially resourceful so that his work doesn't stop anywhere. He must have good soft skill. He must be good communicator. He should be able to tell people that these are my problems and I want to handle these problems. And the moment he brings the product into the market, that goes with success. So entrepreneur has to take, excuse me, several of the risks, and he believes in us, so we must do very very hard work to support the entrepreneurs. And in entrepreneurs I see the farmers, farm women, and I am venturing to turn the simple, very simple remote farm women into successful entrepreneurs. Friends, it is my own experience that for farm women, only the doors are closed. Once you talk with them, once you introduce them to the technology, you take them into the friendly atmosphere, bring them to your institute, take them to the field trip, they do miraculous work. They show success within very, very less time. They sense the opportunity. If I am going and speaking to them, they would be able to sense that an opportunity has knocked their doors, and they never dissatisfy you. They never look back, and they enter in, become the entrepreneur. These are some of the challenges one entrepreneur must take to organize himself. He should be innovative, independent. He should do outstanding performance. He should respect his work. he should have positive attitude, he should have personal maturity, efficiency in his work. Achievement is ultimately the motivation for next work. So he should achieve in his all endeavors. He is required to accept change. If we are going to the village family, they are cultivating, they are not processing, they are challenged with new enterprise, so they should accept the change. The entire life is going to change once they have adopted the food processing entrepreneur. We need to develop the capacity building. They need to do market survey where their products will be sold out. How many people would be interested in their product? They must do a good research and survey. They must develop their plan. Then if the plan is properly developed, banks come for association. Banks support the self-help groups also. Banks support in credit linking. It is the self-confidence of the entrepreneur which leads to self-association, development of an enterprise. It is the assertiveness of the entrepreneur. It is the capacity building of the entrepreneur. It is the market segment. So many things he has to uh, have in himself and develop an earning investment plan. We worked with one of our entrepreneurs, Mr. Ashok Kumar. He took some training at our place, our institute, and he and his wife Manju and Ashok, and the duo came as successful entrepreneur. He had Amla orchard in his place, so he wanted to have. He was selling at 18 rupees per kg. When we approached him, he prepared. Amla juice, amla candy, amla laddu, amla murabba, and he has purchased some of the machines also. He got FSSAI also. He has taken our support, but he has come up with right enterprise, and he's successfully taking our technology. He's having all qualities of a successful entrepreneur, and these are some of the some of the work that we are doing at our institute, integrating the farm plants. These farm plants are satellite linked. These farmers are growing quality products. These quality products are being monitored by artificial intelligence links by Bits Pilani, and we will be able to develop the supply chain configuration of Pearl Millet and Cucumis Mellow. And this all I wanted to share. Thank you very much. These are some of the products that we look forward. Madam, may I stop sharing?
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. And now we'll go in for the demonstration of the products that you have to show us for the preparation of millets with Dr. Savita. And in the meanwhile, while we wait for Dr. Pratibha to be further on and give us a demo, we'll be showing you a small video of millets that was prepared by our college, which will further help on to for the viewers to realize the importance of incorporating millets in our daily diet.
मिलेट्स द वंडर फूड्स हमारे इतिहास का एक बहुत अहम हिस्सा है. Since time immemorial, millets have found an important place in our diets. And आज की स्थिति को देखते हुए एक बहुत massive tilt and shift आया है हमारी eating habits में. Not just in our diet, but our lifestyle has also evolved. इस पैंडेमिक ने हमें एक नई दिशा, नई सोच और नई तरह से जीना सिखाया है. We have come to realize that बहुत तरह की beautiful practices हैं जो हम भूल चुके हैं. Use of millets being one of them. Before the Green Revolution, millets made up 40% of our cultivated grains, but अब rice and wheat production बढ़ चुकी है. इसको मद्देनजर रखते हुए इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने 2018 को नेशनल ईयर ऑफ मिलेट्स घोषित किया गया. And now the United Nations General Assembly has declared 2023 as International Year of Millets, wherein पूरी दुनिया इन न्यूट्री सीरियल्स का इस्तेमाल करेगी एंड प्रमोट करेगी. गवर्नमेंट होम साइंस कॉलेज ने गवर्नमेंट के हर इनिशिएटिव को हमेशा सपोर्ट किया है. इसी प्रयास को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए होम साइंस कॉलेज ने निवेदिता फाउंडेशन फ्रॉम PGIMR के साथ एक MOU साइन किया है, जिसके तहत आहार क्रांति प्रोजेक्ट के अंडर मिलेट्स को प्रमोट करने का कार्य चुना है. This video is a small initiative towards making the masses aware about the importance of millets. Millets are hardy crops which can grow in any climate and any type of soil. There are various types of millets grown in India, जैसे कि sorghum जिसे हम जवार कहते हैं, pearl millet यानी कि बाजरा, foxtail millet कांगनी, finger millet रागी, little millet sama, barnyard millet sanwa, and kodo millet kodon. Jowar, bajra, and ragi are three millets that find maximum importance in our diets. India largest producer है millets का and is grown and consumed in almost every state. 42% of the global millet consumption is in India, followed by Nigeria. यह मोटा अनाज ग्रेन्स ऑफ द फ्यूचर है, क्योंकि ना ही ये स्टोर हाउस ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट्स हैं, बट इनमें बहुत सारे मैक्रो एंड माइक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट्स प्रेजेंट हैं जो हमें अनेक तरह की बीमारी, स्पेशली डायबिटीज में हेल्प करते हैं. इनमें अधिक मात्रा में प्रोटीन, फाइबर, आयरन एंड कैल्शियम पाया जाता है. These nutrient-dense superfoods form an important place not just in our diets, but for growing children and pregnant women as well. They find a wide variety of uses in our diet and can be included in many forms for humans as well as poultry feed. Apart from their nutritional importance, these millets एक बहुत clinical significance भी hold करते हैं. Being gluten-free, they help in improving digestion, rich in antioxidants, regulate blood pressure and cholesterol भी lower करते हैं. Small but mighty, these grains act as wonders for our skin and hair as well. इतनी खूबियां होने के बावजूद they fail to find an important place in our diets. चलिए हम एक प्रण लेते हैं कि पीढ़ी दर पीढ़ी जो एक प्रथा चली आई है उसे रिवाइव करते हैं एंड मिलेट्स को अपनी डाइट का अहम हिस्सा बनाकर अच्छा स्वास्थ्य और भविष्य अपनाते हैं. कॉलेज डॉक्टर वीरेंद्र गर्ग, जो OSD टू यूनियन हेल्थ मिनिस्टर एंड ऑल्सो निवेदिता चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट के पेट्रन हैं, के शुक्रगुजार है फॉर मेकिंग अस अ पार्ट ऑफ.
Thank you, viewers, for your patience. Now let's get back to Dr. Pratibha and Dr. Savita for the live demonstration on recipes of millets. I welcome Dr. Savita for the webinar.
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम. सुबह से हम बात कर रहे हैं कि बाजरा का जो वैल्यू एडेड प्रोडक्ट्स के बारे में. डॉक्टर प्रतिभा ने आपको बहुत कुछ इसके बारे में बता दिया कि जैसा कि हम जानते हैं कि हमारे यहाँ पे स्पेशली मारवाड़ में जो मिलेट्स का प्रोडक्शन सबसे ज़्यादा होता है. यहाँ के जितने भी विलेजेस हैं वहाँ पर पूरे 12 महीने ही उसका जो मिलेट्स का फ्लोर है उसका उपयोग होता है. तो इसके लिए जैसे गाँव में खास तौर से हम देखते हैं कि जैसे मिलेट्स बहुत न्यूट्रिटिव होता है, उसमें प्रोटीन, कैलोरीज है, आयरन, जिंक, कैल्शियम काफ़ी मात्रा में पाया जाता है. और गाँव में अभी तक सिर्फ इसका जो यूज़ है वो एक तो इसकी रोटी बनाते हैं जिसे कि सोबरा कहते हैं, उसके लिए किया जाता है. दूसरा इसकी राब बनाई जाती है और एक होता है खिचड़ा, जैसे इसका दलिया बना के उसे पकाया जाता है. तो सिर्फ 3 प्रोडक्ट्स इसके गाँव में बनाए जाते थे. लेकिन जैसा कि प्रतिभा मैम ने आपको बताया कि हमने कुछ वैल्यू एडेड प्रोडक्ट्स बाजरे के डेवलप किए हैं, तो उससे उनको आगे वो एंटरप्रेन्योर भी बन सकते हैं. तो आज हम आपको 2 या 3 रेसिपीज बताएंगे. तो सबसे पहले जैसे हम आपको बताने जा रहे हैं बाजरे की मठरी, वो कैसे बना सकते हैं हम लोग, और वो बना के जो गाँव की महिलाएं हैं वो कुछ इनकम भी जनरेट कर सकती है. तो बाजरे की मठरी बनाने के लिए जैसे कि बाजरे का आटा लिया जाता है, ये बाजरे का आटा है, इसके अंदर हमने 25% हमने इसके अंदर मैदा डाल दिया है। मैदा इसलिए डाली है ताकि इससे बाइंडिंग उसकी अच्छी हो जाएगी। इसके अलावा उसमें हमने थोड़े से न्यूट्रिटिव करने के लिए थोड़ा सा उसमें तिल भी ऐड किया है, जैसे करीब 10 ग्राम। हमने यदि 200 ग्राम आटा लिया है तो उसके अंदर हमने 50 ग्राम मैदा लिया है और 10 ग्राम हमने तिल लिया है। तिल काफ़ी न्यूट्रिटिव होता है, जैसा कि हम जानते हैं, उसके अंदर प्रोटीन काफ़ी मात्रा में होता है। इसके अलावा कैल्शियम, आयरन भी पाया जाता है। और नमक इसके अंदर जैसे हम लोग 10 ग्राम लेंगे, या नमक को हम लोग अकॉर्डिंग टू टेस्ट ज़्यादा या कम कर सकते हैं। इसके अलावा इसमें हम जैसे मैदा है और एक कसूरी मेथी होती है, जो मेथी लीफी वेजिटेबल है, उसको जब सुखा दिया जाता है तो वो कसूरी मेथी कहलाती है। उसको भी हम साल भर के लिए उसको ड्राई करके और यूज़ कर सकते हैं, उससे बहुत अच्छा फ्लेवर आता है। इसके अलावा थोड़ी सी इसके अंदर हम हींग डालते हैं। अब हम इसको क्या करते हैं, इसका डो तैयार करते हैं। डो तैयार करने के लिए हम सारे इंग्रेडिएंट्स को मिला देते हैं। ये जैसे अजवाइन को हम थोड़ा सा इसको हाथ से ऐसे दरदरा कर देंगे तो उसकी फ्लेवर अच्छी आएगी। इसके अलावा अजवाइन जैसे डाइजेशन के लिए भी ठीक रहता है, तो इसमें अजवाइन भी डाल दिया जाता है। और ये कसूरी मेथी है, जैसे ग्रीन कलर की होती है, इसको भी थोड़ा सा मसल के इसके अंदर डाल देंगे। और ये जैसे है हींग। अब इसके अंदर हम थोड़ा सा ऑयल डाल देते हैं। इन सबको अच्छी तरह से हिला लेंगे और फिर इसके अंदर ऑयल डाल दिया जाता है। ऑयल थोड़ा सा ही डालना है, बहुत ज्यादा नहीं डालना है। अब इन सबको हम अच्छी तरह से हिला देंगे और हिलाने के बाद इसका हम एक डो तैयार करेंगे। वो डो टाइट होना चाहिए। आप ये देखिए, ये डो हमने पहले से प्रिपरेशन करके रखी है, तो ये डो इस तरह से तैयार कर लेते हैं। अब इसको हम जैसे बेलते हैं, ये देखिए आप, इस तरह से ये डो तैयार हो गया इसका। अब इसको हम जहां पर हमें इसको बेलना है, चकला यूज कर सकते हैं, या जो स्लैब होती है हमारे घर की, एकदम साफ स्लैब हम लोग यूज कर सकते हैं। अब इसको हम थोड़ा सा अच्छा सा गोला करके इसको हम बेल लेते हैं। ये देखिए, इस तरह से इसको हम बेल लेंगे। थोड़ा सा इसको पतला ही बेलना है ताकि क्या सेकने में इजी रहेगा, कच्चा नहीं रहेगा। इस तरह से इसको हम बेल लेंगे। बेलने के लिए हम बेलन भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, या यदि इस तरह की पतली बेलनी होती है उससे इजीली बेल जाता है। ये इस तरह से बिल गया है। अब इसके इस तरह से शेप के कटर्स आते हैं, जैसे बिस्किट कटर आते हैं, तो उनसे हम लोग इसको काट सकते हैं। चाहे तो इसके छोटे छोटे गोले बना के भी हम मठरी की तरह इसको बना सकते हैं, या इस तरह से जो कटर्स आते हैं उनसे हम इसको काट लेंगे। इस तरह से अलग अलग शेप में, हम किसी भी शेप में इसको काट सकते हैं। अब इसकी जब कटिंग करते हैं, इस बीच हम लोग तेल को गर्म करने के लिए रख देते हैं। तेल कोई भी यूज कर सकते हैं अकॉर्डिंग टू टेस्ट, चाहे सरसों का हो या ग्राउंडनट, कोई भी तेल हम इसके लिए यूज कर सकते हैं। इस तरह से देखिए, ये हमने अलग अलग शेप में इसको काट लिए, और चाहे तो इसके हम इस तरह से छोटे ऐसे गोले से बना के इसको दबा के इस तरह से मठरी भी बना सकते हैं। अब तेल जब तेज गर्म हो जाए तो उसके अंदर हमें एक एक करके इसे डालना है, और उसके बाद हमें जो गैस है उसको थोड़ा सा मीडियम स्लो कर देना है, ताकि वो कच्चे ना रहे अंदर से। ये देखिए तेल हमने इसमें सरसों का तेल लिया है, तो उसे थोड़ा सा अच्छा गर्म करना पड़ता है ताकि उसमें सरसों के फ्लेवर ना रह जाए। अभी से हम थोड़ा सा सिम कर देते हैं। मोस्टली जो मटरी मार्केट में मिलती है वो मैदे से बनाई जाती है, लेकिन इसको हमने जैसे बाजरा प्लस मैदा बहुत कम क्वांटिटी में लिया है। मैदा में जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं कि उसके अंदर थोड़ा न्यूट्रिटिव कम होता है, न्यूट्रिशन, और जब हम बाजरे का आटा उसमें ऐड कर देंगे तो हमें बहुत ही अच्छी न्यूट्रिटिव वैल्यू मिलेगी। और पहले से हम जैसे एक थाली तैयार करते हैं जिसमें टिश्यू लगा देते हैं, ताकि जो भी एक्स्ट्रा ऑयल होगा वो उसमें एब्जॉर्ब हो जाएगा। इसमें जैसे हमने जो तिल और मेथी ये सब डाले हैं, ये हम लोग थोड़ा ज़्यादा कम कर सकते हैं, बट जैसे एक तो सॉल्ट का ध्यान रखना है कि वो हमें थोड़ा सा नाप के डालना है, या फिर उसको चख लेना है थोड़ा सा। ये देखिए इस तरह से ये जैसे थोड़ा सा हार्ड हो गया और कलर इसका चेंज हो गया। ये देखिए ये इसकी पहचान है कि ये तैयार हो गई है। एक मिनट, ये देखिए इस तरह से ये ब्राउन से हो गया इसका कलर, और ये थोड़ा सा स्टिफ हो गया, मतलब हार्ड हो गया है ना। ये देखिए इस तरह से ये बनके तैयार हो गई है। जैसे मार्केट में अभी कहीं पर भी बाजरे की मटरी अवेलेबल नहीं है, लेकिन हम लोग जैसे कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि इसको कुछ जो फार्म वुमेन्स है वो बना के और इसको मार्केटिंग करें, तो उन्हें कुछ पैसा अर्न कर सकती है। प्लस जैसा कि हम जान रहे हैं कि न्यूट्रिशन के लिए भी बाजरा बहुत ही अच्छा माना जाता है, तो इस तरह से ये बाजरे की मटरी हम लोग तैयार कर सकते हैं और इसकी मार्केटिंग कर सकते हैं। ये करीब मतलब जब 1 किलो बनती है तो 200 रुपये के खर्चा आ जाता है, और बाजार में जो मिल रही है वो भी करीब 220-240 मिलती है, लेकिन लोग प्रेफर करेंगे कि इसको मतलब ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इसको खरीदें। तो ये मटरी का डेमो है। आपको कोई क्वेश्चन है, कुछ समझ नहीं आया तो आप लोग पूछ सकते हैं। एनी क्वेश्चन?
Interactive.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for a wonderful demonstration. I extend a heartful thank you to Dr. Pratibha for such an insightful talk on millets and their benefits. I'm sure you have motivated all our viewers to make millets a part of our diet. Your work in this area is commendable, Dr. Pratibha, and we are honored that you were a part of this webinar today. I extend a thank you to Professor Sudha Katyal, Principal Home Science College, for helping us in the conduct of this webinar, and PU Alumni Association for the funding of this webinar. Thank you so much, Dr. Pratibha and Dr. Savita. We hope to see you again soon with wonderful recipes and more insights on millets, which are wonder foods. Thank you so much for being a part of us today. Thank you and have a good day. Namaskar.
Thank you.